Okay, we're going to take a look at our Chapter 1 notes starting on page 2 on number 6, and we're going to take a look at how Java produces a program from writing code in Java. And so as we look at this, we go source code is the source code is saved as a Java file. It's written in a programming language. So it's what we are going to be writing. So here's an example of code that we've looked at already. And so all of this right here is called source code. It's written in Java. This is where it all starts. And then this will eventually be readable by the computer, but it is not readable at this time. Also notice that it's saved in over here in the my first program.java, so it's saved in a Java file. There are other languages like C++ and Python, and so there are other languages that source code can be written in, but we are using Java. Now what happens is when we click on the compiling button, then the compiler is now going to convert the source code. It's going to convert the Java into bytecode, and this bytecode is going to be stored in a .class file instead of a .java file. And so what does it look like? It's going to be binary, octal, hexadecimal type numbers. And so here's what it looks like. So in our program that we were looking at earlier, here's the program in .java, but there's also a corresponding program .class. And so that .class, if we open that up, you can see how it's got numbers and letters and everything. This is bytecode. This is what it looks like. We don't understand it, but the computer is going to be able to understand this. The key thing here is that make sure you don't submit class files to me on Canvas, but submit the Java files. That's what I'm going to be looking at. Okay, the next thing is that then the JVM, which is short for Java Virtual Machine, uses what's called the Java interpreter to convert the bytecode to machine code. So it goes from source code, gets compiled into bytecode, and then the JVM, or the Java Virtual Machine, uses the Java interpreter to convert the bytecode into machine code. Now the important thing about the machine code is this code is based on the computer's operating system. And so that's why Java is so useful, is because the JVM will convert it to the machine code that's based on the operating system, so it can be any computer then. If it's a Mac computer, it'll make the machine code be readable by the Mac operating system. Now when it has machine code, then that can be now understood and executed by the computer processor. So the processor then reads that, and then it displays or does things on the computer that are based on the instructions shown in the machine code. Alright, so source code ends up becoming machine code that the computer can actually process. Okay, so now what I need you to do is on your paper there at the bottom under number 7, I need you to draw a diagram or an illustrating using boxes and arrows to represent the information on the previous slide. So we want to take all this. This is just a bunch of words. Let's put those into an illustration that makes it easy to look at and go, okay, I see where it goes. And so go ahead and do that, and then come back to the video. Okay, hopefully you did this all by yourself. And so here's an example of what you might have done. Now you can, people's are gonna look different, and that's fine. But this is the main idea. You have the source code. It goes through the compiler, and then it goes to the compiler, becomes bytecode. And then the JVM, or the Java Virtual Machine, uses the interpreter to take this bytecode and convert it into machine code. The machine code then is based on the computer's operating system, and so the computer can actually, I have this arrow going both ways, because the computer can see that machine code and operate it and do what it's supposed to do based on the instructions given in it. So that is how that works. And let's see if, okay, and on this slide here, this is a picture from your book, so figure 1.3. So if you're interested in looking at that, this is how they pictured it. So that's how it gets from source code to machine code to the computer processor.